And we do have a breaking news input coming in this hour. Pakistan is certain to stay on the FATF grey list. The FATF is the Financial Action Task Force. The news has been confirmed to WION by an official from the FATF's member countries. Now, this decision is expected to be announced in the next meeting of the Financial Action Task Force, which will take place from June 16th to the 21st in Florida in the United States. And during this meeting, it will be discussed whether Pakistan's listing stands and if the country has taken any action at all to combat terror financing. Remember, FATF's Asia-Pacific group, which met in China in the middle of May, wasn't impressed at all by Pakistan's action on terror financing. Islamabad was put on the grey list last year, which basically means that the country comes under financial jurisdiction with structural deficiencies in anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism. Or simply put, it supports financing of terror. So this is the latest coming in on the FATF grey listing. Pakistan is most certainly going to stay on that grey list. The information has been confirmed to WION by members of the FATF itself. Let me go across to WION's principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal, for more on the story. Siddhant, Pakistan staying on the grey list despite the fact that it has gotten a bailout from the IMF. Questions have always been raised about the ability and, let's say, the inclination of Pakistan to combat terror financing. This getting proved further.
Well, it's confirmed now that Pakistan will stay on the grey list when the plenary meets, the FATF plenary meets in Florida in June. We know that in February, the last week of February saw the meeting happening in which the Islamabad's actions, commitments weren't taken seriously. FATF wasn't impressed and said that Pakistan needs to take seriously the issue of financing of terrorism, especially harboring terrorist groups on its territory. The big thing is, will Pakistan be blacklisted or not? Because India is continuing with the pressure on Pakistan that Pakistan needs to take action. We know that in mid of May, there was a meeting in China, the Asia-Pacific Group's meeting, which is a subgroup in FATF, in which questions were asked by the Indian officials to Pakistani officials on their action against terrorism, especially financing of terrorism. And they weren't able to give a concrete action or proof, but it also shows that Pakistan under Imran Khan continues with its policy of supporting terrorism in one way or another way, which is something that India has been raising at various international forums, including the FATF.
Right. Siddhant, for the clarity of our viewers, do give us an idea of what this means for Pakistan, what exactly it will have to do in order to stay off the blacklist. You have confirmed for us that the grey list remains in place and that announcement will come at the plenary in Florida. But there is a risk of being put on the blacklist. To avoid that, does Pakistan have to act and act fast? Is there a time running out on Islamabad?
Well, Pakistan was put in the grey list in 2018. When it was put in the grey list, it was to follow certain commitments. It gave certain commitments that it will act within a certain time frame on terror groups, including financing of terrorism. But clearly, when the February meeting happened, the FATF's February meeting, the commitments weren't followed. And even in the mid-May meeting in China, the FATF wasn't impressed. What will be the impact? Well, clearly the impact will be on Pakistan's economy, which is already under pressure. We know that Pakistani Prime Minister has been going around global capitals asking for money. They recently got the IMF bailout, which needs to be approved by the board. But as a fact which was put in place during a press conference by the Pakistani Foreign Minister himself, that the cost of being on the grey list is $10 billion for the Pakistani economy. That is a high cost for an economy which is already in deep waters, deep hot waters. And if the continuation, and we know the continuation of the grey list will happen, which is going to only increase pressure on Islamabad. Clearly, things don't look very good for Pakistan and, of course, the Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan.
Right, we leave it at that, Siddhant. Thanks very much for bringing us that perspective and up to speed on developments so far as Pakistan's grey listing goes. We can confirm to our viewers that the grey list will remain intact when the FATF plenary is held in Florida. Is there a grey list or rather blacklisting on the cards? For that, we'll have to wait and watch.